Transport Museum. I'm currently on board a 1968 Leyland Panther. It's one of the 340 Leyland Panthers that the council purchased to actually replace the trams in 1969 here in Brisbane. This one is a little bit different. It was actually basically a laboratory experiment for the University of Queensland to do a regenerative braking trial. So it actually has, if I remember correctly, about 3 gas hydraulic cylinders underneath here, master cylinders, and actually converts the energy when the bus stops to actually to propulsion energy when it takes off. So it's a bit like, so it is actually a hybrid of sorts. So but it was made as a one-off experiment for the University of Queensland. The problem was that it was the weight of all the extra stuff. So this bus always ended up being full when it was empty because of just the weight of it. Like all the Panthers, or majority of the Panthers, 300 at least, they're a 6-cylinder diesel engine, a 2-speed automatic. Our driver will actually demonstrate that sooner or later. It's slow and slower, and as you can certainly see, there was no worry with regards to air conditioning back then. We didn't worry about that, so our features open the windows, we're all happy. One thing that is interesting is when they were designed, they did have a special air system, which is why these vents are here. So it's actually meant to be, the air comes in through the front and comes along these big channels along the roof, and then actually goes down to the back to 2 big blower fans, and then gets blown along the side vents. Unfortunately, total failure, and hence that's why they've actually put all the hatches. These hatches are all actually a retrograde fit later. Yeah, so that's all been added on later. We have in the museum. So we have this one, which is what we call Reg. We have the blue one, which is in the yard there, which has basically been restored back to its original configuration as per 1969. And then we actually have 2 what are called Panthers. So they're actually modified Panthers, but basically were upgraded in the late 1980s to give them a little bit more modernity. So they've actually had power steering. They had the high back seats like what we've got in here, different doors up the front, also better lighting inside and also outside as well. So we've actually got two of those at the moment. 721, the second last of the batch, and so that's 4 and the other one's 493, which is the yellow one. Now, because this was a rolling laboratory experiment, they decided to add power steering to it, so our driver is actually being pampered today. And it also had high back seats because basically it's been, it was designed so that dignitaries and everything can go on and see the rolling laboratory experiment. Yeah, some of that whirring and gurgling is actually all the extra bits that have been added onto it. So don't worry about it, it's just normal. Oh yeah, it is, 100%. There you go, there's the second gear. Now, that's the problem with a 2-speed gearbox. When it gets to a certain speed, then it gets excited and then thinks, oh, I'll go back to the second gear, then go back and up and down. That used to be the fun of these buses going up and down the hills of Brisbane. Bus drivers in Brisbane from getting speeding tickets. You made the bus only go 56 kilometres an hour, which is what these all were. you got a special treat. Don't forget in this bus, I don't have this in the other bus, the other Panther. One of these. Society knew what it was, but there's nothing written on them. Everyone just knew you press that and that's what the bell was. Isn't it amazing that you don't need a big yellow sign or a big thing that says yellow or stop or bell or anything like that? Everyone just knew.
Common sense.
Correct. That common sense, you know, the stuff that I suppose doesn't happen around very much anymore.